No one at PulseFit's flagship gym in Manhattan suspected that the woman in the gray hoodie and faded sneakers was actually Madison Carter, the CEO and founder of the fastest-growing fitness chain in America. On a brisk Tuesday morning, with the city still shaking off a 48 degrees Fahrenheit chill, Madison stood outside the glass doors, her heart pounding harder than it had in years. She'd built PulseFit from the ground up, priding herself on a brand that promised community, support, and a place where anyone could become their strongest self. But lately, something felt gnawing sense that the PulseFit promise was being broken, one customer at a time. She'd read the reviews herself. Staff rude if you're not already fit. Trainers only care about influencers. I got body shamed in front of a whole class. The words stung more than any loss on a balance sheet. TikTok was even worse. There were viral clips of trainers mocking clients, hidden fees, and a culture that seemed to reward only the already perfect. Madison knew she couldn't trust sanitized reports from her district managers. If she wanted the truth, she'd have to find it herself. So she left her designer gym bag at home and walked the half-mile from her apartment to the club, blending in with the early morning crowd. Her hair was pulled back in a messy ponytail. Her leggings were plain black, not the latest $120 brand. She felt invisible, and that was exactly what she wanted. The PulseFit lobby was a sleek, modern space, 20-foot ceilings, neon lights, and the low thump of pop music vibrating through the floor. The air smelled like eucalyptus and ambition. Madison stepped up to the front desk, where Brittany, the receptionist, barely glanced up from her phone. "Hi, I'm here for the free trial?" Madison offered, her voice a little uncertain. Brittany rolled her eyes, pushing a clipboard across the counter. "Fill this out. Group classes are full, so don't get your hopes up." Madison blinked, surprised by the coldness. "Oh, okay. Is there a locker I can use?" Brittany sighed, pointing to a row of metal lockers across the lobby. "If you want a lock, it's $5. Otherwise, just hope nobody takes your stuff." The welcome felt more like a warning. Madison filled out the form, her hands steady but her mind racing. She scanned the lobby, clusters of influencers in coordinated gear, trainers laughing with regulars, and a few newcomers like herself hovering on the edges, unsure where to go. She made her way to the locker room, which was spotless but strangely silent. A woman in her 40s struggled with a jammed lock, her gym bag slipping from her shoulder. Madison offered a hand. "Need help?" The woman smiled gratefully. "Thanks. First day. I already feel out of place." "You're not alone," Madison replied, meaning every word. Out on the gym floor, the energy was electric but intimidating. Racks of weights gleamed under bright LEDs. Rows of treadmills faced a wall of TVs showing highlight reels of pro athletes. Trainers barked encouragement at their favorite clients, while others, newcomers, older members, anyone not on brand, were left to fend for themselves. Madison wandered over to a group class, hoping to blend in. Jake, one of the trainers, was leading a hit session, his voice booming over the music. "Let's go, PulseFit! No excuses unless you're planning to quit already." The regulars laughed, but a few faces in the back looked uncomfortable. A young woman with a shy smile stepped onto a mat beside Madison. "Is this your first class?" she whispered. "Yeah. I'm Madison," she replied. "I'm Emily. I'm nervous." Everyone here looks like they walked out of a fitness magazine. Before Madison could respond, Jake called out, "Hey, new faces in the back. Don't slow us down." The class snickered. Emily's cheeks flushed, and Madison felt a surge of anger. This wasn't the supportive environment PulseFit promised. After class, Emily hurried out, head down. Madison followed, catching up in the hallway. "You did great in there," she said. Emily shrugged. "I just wish I felt like I belong." Madison's heart ached. She promised herself she'd remember Emily's face. Back on the floor, Madison saw another trainer, Chris, chatting with a group of influencers near the smoothie bar. He barely acknowledged a man in his 50s who asked about personal training rates. "You might want to start with the basics," Chris said, his tone dismissive. "Our advanced packages aren't for everyone." Madison watched as the man walked away, shoulders slumped. She felt a familiar frustration, the kind that had driven her to start PulseFit in the first place. Then, something caught her eye. Samantha, a new trainer, was quietly helping an older woman with her form on the rowing machine. Her encouragement was gentle, and her instructions were clear. The woman smiled, visibly more confident after just a few minutes. Jake walked by, smirking. "You're wasting your time, Sam. She's not going to last a week." Samantha ignored him, focusing on her client. Madison made a mental note here was someone who still believed in the PulseFit mission. As the day wore on, Madison saw the pattern repeat. Trainers and staff fawned over the fit, the famous, and the flashy, while everyone else was left on the sidelines. She overheard Brittany gossiping with another receptionist about losers who couldn't keep up. She watched Jake and Chris high-five after signing a lucrative influencer to a premium package. Then, she rolled their eyes at a single mom asking about a discount. By late afternoon, Madison had seen enough. She slipped out of the gym, her mind swirling with anger and resolve. The PulseFit brand was in trouble because of competition, but because it had lost its soul. But she also saw hope in Samantha's kindness, in Emily's courage to show up, and in the quiet determination of every member who dared to walk through those doors. Madison knew what she had to do. Tomorrow, she'd come back. She'd dig deeper, ask more questions, and gather the proof she needed. Because PulseFit was more than a business. It was a promise. And Madison Carter wasn't about to let anyone break it. Stay tuned. What Madison uncovers next will shock you and inspire you to stand up for what's right, wherever you are. The next morning, Madison Carter woke up with a sense of urgency humming in her veins. The city outside her window was already alive, yellow cabs honking, the sun glinting off glass towers, the air crisp at 52 degrees Fahrenheit. But inside she felt a storm brewing. Yesterday had been a shock, but today, she was determined to see just how deep the rot went at PulseFit. She arrived at the gym just after sunrise, blending in with the early crowd. The lobby was a flurry of activity, trainers greeting their favorite clients, Brittany at the front desk scrolling through Instagram, and a group of influencers snapping selfies in front of the neon, "Stronger Together" sign. But beneath the surface, Madison sensed the same chill as before. As she checked in, Brittany barely looked up. "You again?" she muttered, tossing a towel on the counter. "Locker 12's open. Try not to get in the way, Jake's HIIT class is packed." Madison forced a smile, but her jaw clenched. She slipped into the locker room, where the air was thick with perfume and nerves. A young woman in her 20s, clearly new, fumbled with her lock, hands shaking. Madison offered a quiet, "Need a hand?" The woman nodded, relief in her eyes. Out on the gym floor, the drama was already in motion. Jake strutted through the rows of treadmills, muscles bulging under his PulseFit tee, barking encouragement at a group of regulars. "Let's go, team! No slackers today. If you can't keep up, maybe this isn't the place for you." His words cut through the music, landing like a slap. Madison watched as a few members, especially those who didn't fit the PulseFit look, shrunk back, adjusting their shirts or glancing at the exit. She spotted Emily again, the shy woman from yesterday, nervously stretching in the corner. Samantha, the new trainer, approached her with a gentle smile. "You got this, Emily. Just do your best." Jake rolled his eyes. "Sam, stop babying the newbies. They'll never toughen up if you coddle them." Samantha ignored him, focusing on Emily's form. Madison felt a surge of respect for Samantha and a flash of anger at Jake. The HIIT class began with sweat and adrenaline filling the air. Jake pushed the regulars hard, shouting encouragement, but when Emily lagged, he called her out. "Come on, Emily! Pick it up! Don't embarrass yourself. The regulars laughed. Emily's face turned crimson. Midway through the circuit, disaster struck. Emily, struggling to keep up, tripped over a kettlebell and landed hard on the rubber mat. The room went silent for a beat, then Jake smirked. Guess someone skipped leg day, maybe try the beginner class next time. The laughter stung. Emily blinked back, tears scrambling to her feet. Samantha rushed over, helping her up. You're okay. Don't listen to him. You're stronger than you think. Madison's fists clenched. She wanted to scream, to call Jake out right there. But she bit her tongue, watching as Emily fled the room. Humiliation etched on her face. After class, Madison found Emily in the hallway, wiping her eyes. Don't let them get to you, Madison said softly. Emily shook her head. I just wanted to feel like I belong. But I never will, not here. Madison's heart broke. She promised herself she wouldn't let this slide. Back on the floor, Chris, another trainer, was giving a private session to a well-known fitness influencer. He laughed loudly, making sure everyone heard. We only train the best here. No room for slackers. Brittany, at the front desk, chimed in, gossiping with another staffer about losers who couldn't keep up. Madison wandered to the smoothie bar, where Samantha was making a protein shake for an older client. You handled that well, Madison said quietly. Samantha shrugged. It's not easy. The culture here. It's toxic. If you're not perfect, you're invisible. I tried to start a class for beginners, everyone can be strong, but Jake shot it down. Said it wouldn't bring in money? Madison nodded, anger simmering beneath her calm exterior. That's not right. Samantha looked around, lowering her voice. I know. But if you speak up, you get labeled as weak. I just want people to feel welcome. As the day wore on, Madison kept her eyes open. She saw a janitor, Mr. Alvarez, a man in his 50s, quietly cleaning up after a spilled shake. Brittany brushed past him, barely acknowledging his presence. Later, Madison overheard Jake mocking a new member's weight in the staff group chat, sending laughing emojis to Chris and Brittany. The evidence was piling up. By late afternoon, the gym was buzzing with after-work regulars. Madison watched as Chris prioritized his influencer client, ignoring a mother asking for help with the rowing machine. Sorry, I'm booked, he said. Not meeting her eyes, Samantha stepped in, guiding the woman through the motions, her encouragement soft but steady. You're doing great. Everyone starts somewhere. Madison snapped a photo of the scene, determined to remember every detail. As the sun set over Manhattan, Madison left PulseFit with a heavy heart but a clear mission. The drama was real, the toxic culture ran deeper than she'd feared. But she also saw hope in Samantha's kindness, in Emily's courage to show up, and in every member who dared to try. Walking the 10 blocks home, Madison reviewed her notes and the photos on her phone. She had what she needed, proof of the problem and a glimpse of the solution. Tomorrow, she'd go even further. She'd talk to the cleaning crew, the night staff, and the overlooked and unheard. She'd gather every story, every slight, every act of quiet heroism. Because PulseFit wasn't just a brand, it was a promise. And Madison Carter wasn't about to let anyone break it. The real showdown was coming. And when it did, no one at PulseFit would ever forget what happened next. Something was off the moment Madison Carter walked into PulseFit that morning. The air in the gym was thick with anticipation. But underneath the steady beat of pop music and the clang of weights, she sensed a current of tension. Today wasn't about blending in. It was about digging deep, exposing the cracks, and finding out just how far the rot had spread. She started her investigation with the people who usually went unseen. In the early hours before the 6:30 a.m. rush, Madison found Mr. Alvarez, the janitor, mopping the hallway outside the locker rooms. His uniform was faded, and his hands were rough from years of work. She offered a smile and struck up a conversation. How long have you worked here? Madison asked, keeping her tone casual. Almost 6 years, Mr. Alvarez replied, glancing over his shoulder. But it's not the same anymore. It used to be that the trainers knew everyone's name. Now, I'm invisible unless something's wrong. He confided that management rarely acknowledged him and the cleaning crew. We're short-staffed. And when someone calls out, we just do double the work. No overtime. No thanks. Sometimes, I hear trainers making jokes about us in the break room. It stings. Madison's heart tightened. She made a mental note and moved on. Next, she visited the staff kitchen, where Brittany and Chris were chatting over protein shakes. She lingered by the fridge, pretending to look for her lunch, and overheard Brittany complaining about losers who couldn't keep up in class. Chris laughed, sharing a story about a member who couldn't even finish a warm-up. Madison quietly snapped a photo of the whiteboard on the wall. There, in bold marker, was a list of VIP members, mostly influencers and high-paying clients, along with notes about who should get extra attention. At the bottom, someone had scrawled, "No time for beginners. Focus on the fit." She slipped out before they noticed. Later that morning, Madison watched a drama unfold in the group fitness studio. Samantha, the new trainer, was leading a beginner boot camp. Only a handful of members attended, most of them older or new to fitness. Jake and Chris stood outside the glass wall, snickering. "Look at Sam, wasting her time," Jake whispered. "She'll never get a bonus teaching those classes." Chris nodded. "Management only cares about numbers. Unless you're bringing in VIPs, you're nobody." Inside, Samantha encouraged a woman named Linda, who was struggling with a set of lunges. "You're doing great, Linda. Just keep moving. It's not about being perfect, it's about showing up." Linda smiled, sweat beading on her brow. "Thanks, Sam. I almost didn't come today." Jake rolled his eyes and walked away. After class, Madison approached Samantha in the hallway. "You really care about your clients," she said. Samantha shrugged, her eyes tired but determined. "I remember what it felt like to be new. I just wish the others did too." Madison lowered her voice. "Have you ever tried to change things?" Samantha hesitated. "I pitched a free class series, Everyone Can Be Strong. Management shot it down. Jake said it wouldn't bring in revenue. I just want people to feel welcome." Madison nodded, feeling the weight of Samantha's words. She knew she had to keep digging. By midday, Madison had gathered enough whispers and scraps of evidence to sense a pattern. She decided to check the staff communication channels. In the break room, Brittany had left her tablet unlocked. Madison scrolled through the staff group chat, her pulse quickening as she read the messages. "Another newbie quit today. LOL. Can't believe management wants us to waste time with the weak ones. Sam's too soft. She'll never last." Screenshots. Madison snapped photos, her hands steady. She found a thread where Jake bragged about pushing out underperformers, and Chris joked about body shaming as motivation. The deeper she looked, the worse it got. Maintenance requests were ignored for weeks. Staff complained about low pay and lack of advancement. A message from Mr. Alvarez, politely asking for new cleaning supplies, had gone unanswered for a month. Madison's anger simmered, but she kept her calm. She needed more, something undeniable. That afternoon, she shadowed Samantha during a one-on-one session with a new member, Marcus. Marcus was in his late 40s, overweight, and visibly nervous. Samantha coached him patiently, celebrating every small victory. "You did it! That's 5 more reps than last time." Jake passed by, shaking his head. "Why bother? He'll quit in a week." Madison caught Marcus's eye and offered a reassuring smile. "You're doing awesome." After the session, Marcus confided, "I almost didn't come back after my first class. Jake made me feel like I didn't belong. Sam's the only reason I'm still here." Madison thanked him for sharing, and her resolve was hardening. As evening fell, Madison sat in the corner of the gym, compiling her evidence. She had photos of the whiteboard, screenshots of toxic messages, and first-hand accounts from staff and members. She'd seen the culture of exclusion and cruelty, and the quiet acts of kindness that still flickered beneath the surface. She watched as Brittany ignored a new member at the front desk, who was too busy texting to answer a question. She saw Chris laugh with an influencer while a senior member waited for help. She saw Jake roll his eyes at Samantha and saw Samantha lift up every person she trained. By the time the last class ended and the gym lights dimmed, Madison knew she had what she needed. The story was bigger than just a few rude trainers. It was a culture problem, festering from the inside out. She left PulseFit that night with her phone full of proof, her heart heavy but hopeful. Tomorrow, she would reveal the truth. And when she did, no one at PulseFit would ever see the gym or themselves the same way again. Because sometimes, the real workout isn't in the gym. It's in finding the courage to stand up, speak out, and change what's broken. And Madison Carter was ready for the fight. Monday morning at PulseFit's flagship wasn't just another start to the week. It felt like the air itself was buzzing with something big about to break. Sunlight streamed through the glass facade, bouncing off polished floors and casting long, golden stripes across the treadmills. But inside, staff moved with forced smiles, eyes darting to their phones, voices hushed in anxious corners. Even the regulars sensed it. Something was about to change. Madison Carter stood at the front desk, her heart pounding like she was about to run a marathon. 4 days she'd been undercover, collecting stories, screenshots, and silent truths. Now, the moment had come to step out of the shadows and confront the storm head-on. She called for an all-staff meeting at 8:30 a.m., just before the gym's morning rush. The announcement sent a ripple through the team: curiosity, dread, hope. Brittany, arms folded and chin high, arrived first, her confidence looking a little shaky. Jake and Chris swaggered in, trading smirks, but their eyes betrayed a flicker of nerves. Samantha, the new trainer, looked anxious but resolute. Mr. Alvarez, the janitor, stood quietly at the back, hands clasped, eyes full of hope. Even a few members lingered nearby, drawn by the tension in the air. Madison stepped forward, not in her old hoodie but in a crisp PulseFit jacket, her posture radiating calm authority. Her voice rang out, steady and clear. "Thank you all for coming in early. Some of you know me as Maddie. But today, I want to reintroduce myself. I'm Madison Carter, founder and CEO of PulseFit." The room froze. Brittany's jaw dropped. Jake's cocky grin faded. Samantha's eyes widened, relief and awe flickering across her face. Mr. Alvarez straightened, pride shining in his tired eyes. Madison's gaze swept the room. "For the past week, I've been here undercover. I wanted to see what PulseFit really feels like for our members and our team. And what I found broke my heart." She turned to Brittany. "I saw new members ignored at the front desk. Questions brushed aside, kindness replaced by sarcasm. That's not the PulseFit I built." Brittany stammered. "I was just following the script, Dash." Madison shook her head. "The script is respect. The script is supported. If we lose that, we lose everything." She faced Jake and Chris. "I watched trainers mock clients, call out members in class, and make jokes at people's expense. I saw body shaming, favoritism, and a culture that rewards only the already perfect. That ends today." Jake tried to defend himself, but his voice faltered. "We were just motivating people, Dash. Motivation doesn't mean humiliation," Madison replied, her words sharp but fair. "We lift people up. We don't tear them down." She turned to the rest of the staff. "I read your group chats. I saw the memes, the jokes, the complaints about helping the weak ones. I saw maintenance requests ignored, pay issues left unresolved, and good people made to feel invisible. That's not just disappointing, it's unacceptable." A hush fell. Some staff looked away, guilt flickering in their eyes. Samantha met Madison's gaze, her shoulders squaring with pride. But I also saw hope, Madison continued, her voice softer. I saw Samantha stay late to help a new member, encourage the anxious, and treat every person like they belong. I saw Mr. Alvarez working quietly, keeping this place running, even when no one said thank you. I saw members like Emily and Marcus, who showed up every day, even when it was hard. She paused, letting the words sink in. Today, we change. Effective immediately, Brittany, Jake, and Chris are suspended pending a full review. We will be retraining every staff member on what it means to be part of PulseFit. Samantha, I want you to help lead our new member support program. Mr. Alvarez, you're Employee of the Month, and we're hiring more help for your team. A wave of emotion swept through the group. Samantha blinked back, tears, pride, and relief mingling in her smile. Mr. Alvarez's eyes shone with gratitude. Even some of the staff who'd been part of the problem looked shaken, as if seeing the consequences for the first time. Madison turned to the members gathered nearby. PulseFit is for everyone. From today, we're launching Everyone Can Be Strong free classes for all new members, support groups, and a zero-tolerance policy for body shaming or discrimination. If you ever feel unwelcome, my door is open. She looked around the room, her eyes fierce. This is not just a business. It's a promise. A promise to lift each other up, to celebrate every victory no matter how small. We are stronger together. The staff erupted in applause. Samantha hugged Madison, whispering, "Thank you for seeing us." Madison smiled, her heart lighter than it had been in weeks. As the meeting broke up, staff and members mingled, sharing stories, offering encouragement, and making plans for the new program. The energy in the gym shifted brighter, warmer, more hopeful. Later, as Madison walked the gym floor, she saw a fundamental change in motion. Samantha led a group of nervous first-timers, her voice steady and kind. Mr. Alvarez received a standing ovation from the staff as he started his shift. Even Brittany, humbled and quiet, offered a genuine smile to a new member. Jake and Chris, waiting for their review, watched from the sidelines, their bravado gone. Madison caught their eyes and nodded. Everyone deserves a second chance. But you have to earn it. For the first time in a long time, PulseFit felt like the community Madison had always dreamed of. The walls echoed not with gossip or mockery but with laughter, encouragement, and the steady beat of hope. And as sunlight poured through the windows, Madison knew this was just the beginning. The real work, the work of building each other up, was only getting started. The transformation at PulseFit didn't happen overnight. Still, the ripple effect of Madison Carter's bold reveal was felt from the moment the staff meeting ended. As the sun climbed higher, casting golden beams through the gym's windows, the energy inside was unmistakably different. Gone was the nervous tension, replaced with a cautious optimism, sense that real change was finally possible. That morning, Samantha stood in front of a new Everyone Can Be Strong class, her voice steady and encouraging as she welcomed a group of first-timers. Emily, the shy member who once felt invisible, was there too. She glanced around nervously, but Samantha caught her eye and smiled. "You belong here, Emily. We're all in this together." Emily's shoulders relaxed, her confidence growing with every rep. Mr. Alvarez, the janitor, moved through the gym with a new sense of pride. For the first time, members greeted him by name, offering thanks as he tidied up the locker rooms and restocked towels. At the staff break table, Luis from maintenance clapped him on the back. "You're the heart of this place, man. We all see it now." Mr. Alvarez grinned, wiping a tear from his eye finally. His hard work was being recognized. Meanwhile, Brittany, Jake, and Chris sat in a conference room, waiting for their individual reviews. The mood was somber. Brittany tapped her fingers anxiously. "I thought I was just doing my job," she whispered to Chris. He stared at the floor. "I didn't realize how much we were hurting people." Jake, usually so brash, was quiet. Maybe we lost sight of what matters, he admitted. We can do better. If they let us. On the gym floor, members noticed the change. Marcus, who once dreaded coming in, now found encouragement at every turn. I never thought I'd look forward to working out, he told Samantha after class. But you made me believe I could. Samantha beamed, her eyes shining with pride. Even the regulars felt the difference. Tara, a longtime member who'd watched the drama unfold, approached Madison by the smoothie bar. I've been here since PulseFit opened, she said. I always loved the community, but lately it felt cold. What you did, it brought the heart back. Thank you. Madison smiled, humbled. It's not just me. It's all of us choosing to do better every day. As the days passed, the staff retraining sessions began. Samantha led workshops on empathy and inclusion, sharing her own struggles and triumphs. Mr. Alvarez spoke about dignity and respect, his words resonating with staff and members alike. Even Brittany, Jake, and Chris, after heartfelt apologies and honest reflection, began to change. They listened, learned, and slowly rebuilt trust, one genuine conversation at a time. One afternoon, Madison gathered the team for a check-in. She looked around at the faces, some familiar, some new, all united by a shared purpose. We're not perfect, she said, but we're moving forward. Every act of kindness, every word of encouragement, every time we choose respect over judgment, we build something stronger. Louise chimed in. It's like fixing a machine. You can't just swap out one part and expect it to run smoothly. You have to take care of every piece. Emily, her voice trembling but clear, added, I used to think I didn't belong here. Now I can't imagine being anywhere else. Madison nodded, her heart full. That's the PulseFit I dreamed of. And it's only possible because of all of you. The story of PulseFit's transformation spread beyond the gym. Members posted about their experiences on social media, using hashtag #EveryoneCanBeStrong. Videos of Samantha's classes and Mr. Alvarez's heartfelt speech went viral, inspiring other gyms to rethink their own cultures. News outlets picked up the story, calling it a masterclass in leadership and empathy. However, the most significant change was in everyday moments. A high five after a strict set. A kind word to a nervous newcomer. Staff and members are stepping up and choosing compassion over competition. One evening, as Madison locked up the gym, she paused by the front doors. The city lights sparkled outside and inside. The PulseFit logo glowed with new meaning. She thought about the journey, the mistakes, the courage, the second chances. She knew the work wasn't done, but for the first time in a long time, she felt hopeful. She turned to the camera, her voice warm and inviting. If this story touched you, or if you've ever witnessed kindness change a community, share your experience in the comments. What does respect mean to you? Have you ever stood up for what's right, even when it was hard? Like this video, subscribe to our channel, and join us as we keep building a world where everyone belongs. Because together, we are stronger, and every act of kindness matters. As the video faded out, the message lingered. Be the change. Lift each other up. And never underestimate the power of respect.